Hello YouTube. Today we are going to examine how to build air traffic into the three current versions of FSX. We will use the Just Flight Traffic 360 program plus the Flight 1 helicopter traffic program to construct traffic, then view the results in the three versions of FSX. PC setup is as per the info you see on this slide. Scenery has been tweaked as per this slide. And the main software add-ons are shown here, but Steam is missing the OrbX UK scenery that has been applied to the other two. Traffic 360 has 8 main sections in the TCC to organize and build air traffic. My interest is in military air traffic in the UK, so I'm going to build an airline code just for that called AA Tag Military. In the Airline Carrier Codes window, you right-click in the main list and select Add New from the options. Fill in the airline name, carrier code and country, and press Enter, and then apply and exit. It is then necessary to add individual aircraft types to your new airline. Open up the Fleet Database window and click on Update Aircraft from CFGs. Then select the first of your airline fleet from the Aircraft Type drop-down. I'm going to select the BAA Hawk, and I now need to customize the minimum altitude to 1,000 feet, flight level 10. The minimum range to 1 nautical mile to allow circuits. The parking radius to be realistic. The parking types to comply with the airfields I intend to visit. And the IFR to 50% to allow some low-level flight. I then click Edit the Paint Scheme and search the drop-down for the Hawks that I want to use in my airline. I then click on the Airline Carrier box and select the airline that I created earlier, AA Tag Military. I would repeat this process for all aircraft and types that I wanted to use as traffic. I then go back into the airline carrier codes to confirm that my airline is present. Apply and exit. Then I go into the airport information area to check the runways and parking positions of the airfields that I want to use. If an airfield has no parking positions, I cannot use it, unless of course I edit the airfield with an airfield design tool, but that's another story. Here we can see Valley with 26 ramp and 5 other parking positions. So I'm going to be using Valley. Islay, on the other hand, no parking positions. Couldn't use that. I then go into Flight Plans, right-click in the airline carrier box, and add my new airline in there, AA Tag Military. Now I've already added this, so it is part of the drop-down. When I go in there, I can see that there are some flights already built for Valley to Shawbury. Want a new one? I right click and add new. That will bring up this flight plan box where I select the aircraft that I want to use as traffic, in this case the Hawk. Choose the aircraft, give it a registration, make the flight rules VFR, then right click in the big box below to bring up the leg data box. I choose the country, UK, and choose the airfield I'm interested in, Valley. In the departure box I left click and Valley will then go into there. Back to the airport selector box to choose the destination airfield, and then left click in the destination box to put Shawbury as the destination. Give it a flight number and choose a departure time for your flight. The computer will work out the arrival time based on the aircraft type and its speed. Once you do that, you apply, and that particular leg goes in. You then hover over that one and right click. Here I'm doing an edit of the departure time. Once I'm happy with it, apply and exit. Right click on it again and do an insert after. Leg data comes up. We're going to do a round trip, so it's going to be Shawbury back to Valley. That already goes in there. I need to put in a departure time that's usually about an hour after the arrival time to allow a turnaround. Otherwise you'll get an error. And that leg goes in. No red, so the flight is good. Accept it, and that now goes into my flight plan. Once I've got the flight plan sorted, all the aircraft that I want to be moving from Valley on that particular day, I then go to the traffic movements box, bring up the schedules, uncheck the defaults, summer and winter, and then click on use a schedule, and that will bring up 3. I uncheck 2 of them and leave my own airline in there. If you want some VFR as well, choose VFR, uncheck them all and just choose the UK. Otherwise your file will be overly large. You don't need to do this though, because that would be civil traffic. Once you're happy with it, you will save the traffic file as a Beagle. It'll default to the world scenery area, but I tend to use the FSX add-on scenery folder to put in my traffic files. And I've created a traffic 360 folder, so within the scenery folder in there, choose tag UK MIL. So I'm modifying an earlier one. And then compile it, and then exit. We're now having a look at the real Valley with the Hawk about to take off. The area looks like, what the weather looks like. And we'll compare this to the FSX version. Carno coming up. Okay, FSX Gold then. So here's a plan view. See a C-17 taxiing, bottom left. See a lot of aircraft parked on the ramps. Whole variety. There's one of the other ramps with some helicopter slots as well. We'll be using those later on. And the easterly ramp. See a 125 taxiing there, plus some chipmunks. And a Hercules about to taxi out. So the traffic is all working. So let's go and have a look at it from this little helicopter. Eurocopter 135. So we've got quite a few statics. But a lot of these are in fact traffic. You can see some chipmunks there taxiing. There's our Hercules. These ones are all flyable aircraft that you see taxiing, so they have quite a bit of detail on them. The more you add, the trickier it gets because the frame rates could be affected. C-17 lining up over there. Traffic gives us a little bit more realism. You're not operating from a ghost town. So lots of hawks as you'd expect. And there's the other Hercules beginning to taxi. Now, Flight 1 software do this HeliTraffic 2009, which is a very nice piece of software. We'll just have a look at the impact of it. There you can see a large CH-53. P3. You can add helicopter parking wherever you want in this program, or you can synchronize it with existing helicopter landing pad markings. And here I've just set it up so that the helicopters go from one side of the airfield to the other. And just follow on along. So the Super's going to plonk himself down there next to the Huey, and then the Huey will take off. I've also got some Chinooks doing movements as well. This program works well in FSX Gold, but not in Steam or P3D. We're over near the air traffic control tower. Here's the controls and the options that we can have in the program. So you can affect the traffic density of the helicopters and specify which models you want operating. So here's a Black Hawk next to the C-17. Let's go and have a look at one of the other ramps. Chinook. See a lot of traffic lining up and a lot of helicopter movement now. I've got so much going on that it is having a bit of an impact on frame rates here. Just have a look at the three together. So here's FSX, here's Steam edition of FSX, looking at the same area, and here's the P3D version. So you can see slight tonal differences, but essentially the same. Okay, over to Steam, plan view. C-17's getting a pushback. Another ramp, 125's turning. Let's go and have a look at that. So lots of movement. We've also got this plus pack in operation as well. Those are the tornadoes you see. getting into trouble. Steam frame rates are a bit better. It's mainly because we haven't got that helicopter movements program operating. It just won't work with Steam. Check out the 125 lining up. Again. Nice clear day. Lots of visibility. And off goes the Hercules. Right, P3D. Notice the different tones. Frame rate remaining fairly steady around 30, sometimes dropping to 20 or less. So all the traffic aircraft in their positions. So traffic files are stored in the scenery folders of FSX, either in Scenery World Scenery, which is where the default FSX traffic files go, or in the add-on scenery folder. The default FSX traffic file is named trafficaircraft.bgl and is located in the Scenery World Scenery folder. It is 22615 kilobytes in size, and it will be disabled when you install a third-party traffic control program, such as we're using here, Traffic 360. The UK military traffic file I created with Traffic 360 is, however, only 216 kilobytes in size. So we're not going for a worldwide traffic event, just focusing on one small area of the UK. Now this program, AI Flight Planner, is very useful. Recommend you get this one. I had a lot of problems initially with flights not working or working very erratically. This thing has a checker in it and will locate any problem BGL files and fix them for you. Highly recommended. So, conclusions. And the credits. So I hope you enjoyed this one. See you next time.